So here we are in Soho in the trendy offices of Ear to the Ground, and we have with us Frank Turner.
Hello again.
How you doing? Lovely to see you again, mate. How you been?
Busy. I've been everywhere. I've been across the Atlantic about 4 million times.
You have?
Since I saw you last.
How you feel? I think every time I see you, you're jet lagged.
You know, I worked it out on a piece of paper. In the first 6 months of this year, I took a plane every 4 days on average.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you get flyers miles?
I do, yes,
right,
and it is quite good. They do,
yeah.
They look after me a little bit these days, which is nice. But I mean, you know, it's good to be busy. It's better than sitting at home wishing the phone would ring.
Absolutely, definitely. And I read that you were obviously been to the States a lot, haven't you, this year? And you came back to England for an interview for like literally under 24 hours or something.
It was about 36 hours all in that we were in the UK. It was one of the silliest things I've ever done in my life. We got on a plane. The tour schedule went Milwaukee, London, Indianapolis, which was
within a few days of each other.
That was day on day, pretty much. So I think we had one travel day in there, but we did get off a plane from London and went straight to Indianapolis and did a gig. After which I lay down on the floor and wept.
Oh dear, that's incredible. Absolutely. I mean, how do you stay awake? Just quickly, is it matchsticks on the eyes? What do you do? Coffee. A lot of coffee.
Lots of coffee.
We've got your coffee right there.
Let me know. It's going down very well.
I'll grab it for you. You performed your brand new single for us.
I did.
Tell us about that.
It's a song called Losing Days. It's a tune about a number of things. It's kind of about getting older. It's kind of about tattoos. I actually have the title of the song tattooed on the underside of my arm, which was part of the music video, which we haven't actually released yet, but I think it's coming out any day now. So yes, I got that done. So I got a tattoo with 50 people watching me and trying really hard to look like it didn't hurt.
So getting the tattoos in the music video?
Yeah, that's part of the video. And I was lying there and there was a crowd of people and a camera crew, and I was sitting there going, "This is fine. This is absolutely fine. You've got a needle in my armpit." It's a fun video. The artwork was done by a woman called Heather Law, who did all the artwork for my new album, and she's a tattooer from Florida.
Okay. So. You seem to have a thing about getting tattoos in front of lots of people. You actually had this tattoo live at Wembley.
Yeah, that was a little one. My mum was pretty unstoked about that, if that's a word. I'm into tattoo culture. I think it's an interesting part of cultural endeavour, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I like tattoos, obviously. I've got lots of them now.
Covered, absolutely. You also, in your last UK tour, you did something pretty cool. I know you're very big involving your fans, getting them involved, and you did something with this flag.
Oh yeah, that was fun. The thing that was great about that is I essentially pranked myself by accident. The idea about the flag thing was to prove that human beings can be nice to each other, and that you can have a sort of community, and not everybody's atomised individuals. And we got this flag made that had all the tour dates on. And the idea was on the first day of the tour, we'd give it out to somebody in the crowd, and then it has to get to all the dates, and then back to us without me or my crew being involved in moving it around. Okay. And on the first day of the tour, first days of any tour is always really stressful, and I was kind of in a bad mood, and I got really, no one's going to do it, someone's going to nick it, they're just going to lose it on the first day, it's going to be rubbish, and then it worked really, really well, and people took it around, and like people on the off days on the tour, people were kind of giving it the flag of tour of its own. Somebody took it down to Winchester, somebody put it, there's a photo of it on like York Castle, like draped over the walls, and on the border of England and Scotland and all this kind of thing. So turns out that the original idea was right.
It's a good idea. You have faith in humanity.
Yeah, people are all right. It turns out.
Yeah, and it raised money for charity as well.
Yeah, we did at the end. Yeah, we auctioned off for Shelter, which is one of the charities I like to help when I can.
Brilliant. Like I said, you are really sort of one-on-one with fans, and you always like to involve them, and I think you're very sort of hands-on with your own website.
Yeah.
Still, in fact, do fans ever overstep the mark with you, or are they always pretty cool?
Generally speaking, people are pretty cool. I mean, I always feel uncomfortable about the word fan anyway, because it slightly sounds like Marie Antoinette to me. The fans. Fuck off. Am I allowed to swear on this? I just
yes,
did.
You can.
But you know, it's just. The minute that I'm not on stage, I don't consider myself any different from anybody else in the room, and when I'm not on tour, I just go to gigs. I had a week off earlier this year, and I went to a gig every single day, actually, in the end. And that's my culture, that's what I like doing, and I don't hold myself above other people. I mean, there are people who kind of get a little much, should we say, but I don't ever want to kind of like have a go at anybody about it, or kind of tell hilarious stories about it, because first of all, it's a compliment at the end of the day, and I get a bit weird around some of my favourite musicians. I mean, when I met John K. Sampson from the Weaker Thans, I was shaking like a little girl. And so, you know, I get it, and it's all good. So, and like I say, they're all good people at the end of the day.
And what about new material? Because obviously your turnover's relatively fast.
The album came out in April. It's now July. Is it July?
It's July.
It's July. I just demoed half the new album yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah, 5.5 new songs yesterday. I've got about another 5 that are nearly ready. I kind of want to do another album really soon. The record label kind of, when I told them that, went, really? Can we concentrate on this one for a little bit? So I don't know. I may, you know, who knows? Maybe I'll decide it's all rubbish in a week's time. But it's I like to keep busy and keep.
Is there? Do you mind me asking a little bit about it? Is there a theme at all?
Tape Deck Heart, the last record I did was quite a downbeat album thematically. It's and I thought I'd write an upbeat record next, so they're quite.
So the Frank Turner party album.
Well, maybe not party, but just kind of a little bit more kind of optimistic. I think is
okay.
what I'm looking for, rather than like doom and gloom.
Okay.
So I'm in a good mood again.
Fantastic. Well, pleased to hear that.
My confession. When I was a kid, when I was at school, I was rubbish at woodwork, and we had like a woodwork class we had to do. And one term, the project we had to do was to build a mug tree, right? That we had to then, and it was the Christmas term. And the idea was that you presented it to your mum and dad as a Christmas present, was a wooden mug tree that you'd made yourself with your own little 10-year-old hands or whatever. And I was really bad at it, and I didn't try very hard, and I fucked around and didn't do it. And then right at the end of the term, my mug tree was just kind of a pile of glue and dowel rods. And there was the kind of demonstration model that the teacher had made was lying around in the classroom on the last day of school. And I looked around and I nicked it and I gave it to my mum, and she had it in her kitchen for a good 20 years before I fessed up to the fact I hadn't actually made it myself. And she was really fucking annoyed. That's my confession.
All these small ideas are